Hello, hello. This is the 131st Test from the Future, an experimental podcast from the year 22-23, which we are sending from our present to yours. My name is Dirk.
And my name is Simon.
And we're putting the past in podcast. 131st episode. Mm-hmm. Just in case anybody missed that.
Yep.
Episode 131.
131. We're coming up on 2 years almost.
That's true, actually, yeah.
Pretty nice.
Which episode is that going to be?
I think 134.
Ooh, three more episodes.
We can double check, but it's coming up.
2 years. Mm-hmm. Wow.
2 years of successfully sending this podcast back in time.
Exactly. Every test as successful as the previous one.
Sometimes even more so.
Wow. And we did get an email about every episode since 31, right?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah. Although, yeah, okay. Every episode since
We didn't
31.
necessarily reply to them here in the show, but
exactly.
We definitely received emails, every single one of those, since 131.
Totally.
Not 131, sorry, 31. And wait a minute, this was 131 just now, yeah?
Yeah.
Hey, so it's also an... Okay,
wow.
It doesn't really
Some
matter.
sort of anniversary.
Hey, wait a minute, there were 52 weeks in a year. This isn't so amazing. Anyway.
Okay, sure.
It's all good stuff.
Especially with this whole sending episodes back in time and the numbering and the years and so on. Mm-hmm. We'll have something to celebrate every other episode.
And I just remembered the thing, which was, we didn't get any emails for episode 100.
Yeah,
but
that's
okay.
That's such a nice round number.
Yeah.
But we're still very grateful, you, the 21st century listener, mm-hmm. that you are listening to this podcast mm-hmm. from 200 years in your future, because we're here producing this content for you. For those who listen regularly, you know we speak about technology all the time. Occasionally we venture off a little bit. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we have a live episode. But this week it's about people who don't want to handle technology.
Right, who, we'll go into the reasons, but who don't want to use it.
Exactly. The people are called the disconnected.
Mm-hmm.
And they live in communities. Mm-hmm. And in these communities, they don't use technology.
At all.
Which is apparently possible.
Right. I mean, of course it's possible, yeah, but... So, as we'll discuss, it's a very different way of living.
Yeah. And one of the benefits that they don't handle technology is they can't listen to this episode.
Right. So they have no way to listen to, not just us, but anyone talking about them on podcasts, on any other kind of media. So we can say what we like about them. We'll be respectful, yeah? We're not horrible people. But at the same time, we don't need to worry about saying something incorrect, because how will they correct us?
True. You've looked into them a little bit, mm-hmm. As far as it's possible, because mm-hmm. them being disconnected also works both ways.
Mm-hmm. Right, you can't call them up.
Exactly. You can't just teleport there and stuff like this. So it's a little bit harder. And they even tend to live there where the cam network is a little thin. Mm-hmm. So it's a little hard to check them out on the cams because if at all possible, they avoid them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you know why they don't want to handle tech? Did you figure that out?
I mean, so yes, there are several reasons. Some people, some of the disconnected, they've grown up that way. Mm-hmm. So for them, it's just how things is what they're used to. Mm-hmm. And then other people go there. Yeah. Like maybe they grow up, they're used to technology like as you and I are. And maybe they've had enough and then they go to live there. So those are the two main different avenues mm-hmm. to it. Some people, it's because they're overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. You know, it's so easy for them to be contacted, to be talked to by people they want to speak to, but also by people they don't want to. It's a little bit extreme. So it's very extreme from my perspective to then not use technology at all. Yeah. But okay, it's one solution. Other folk are people who've worked with technology maybe for a long time. And mm-hmm. It's not like a one. I mean, okay, some people do live disconnected for a really long time, but other people just go there for a few years. You know, as a break, basically.
I can imagine.
Leave again, and sometimes they end up staying there for longer because they actually like it. And other people go there and go, no way, this is too bad, and leave after like a week because.
Also, occasionally there's somebody that grew up as a member of the disconnected, and then they come to society because they want to find out what all the talk is about.
I mean, that's a nice I'd say nice. That's a nice aspect of it, where when they reach 18, they need to spend it 1 year. So they leave their community and they need to spend 1 year out in the real world.
Cool.
Experiencing technology. So it's around the age they go to university, you know. So basically they can do their first year of university somewhere else. They don't have to, it's a choice, but they have, most of them want to, because, hey, they've grown up their whole childhood not being able to use technology. And of course they've maybe heard that it's not a great thing, but they haven't experienced it. They're curious.
Yeah.
So they want to go out and check it out. And then sure, some of them then go, hey, actually I like the technology. So they don't go back. But some of them do go, you know what? My parents had the right idea. And
I heard they're also totally fine with it both ways, right? So they're totally fine if like new members go like, hey, we want to live with technology. Totally fine. You know, it's just, you know, don't call me.
Exactly.
Not because I don't want to, because you can't.
Right.
Yeah. Interesting. It's I have to admit, about 80% of my knowledge about it is connected is from the one song that they released a while ago. That was a bit of a viral hit. The one with the tune that was like.
Can you hum it? I think I know the one you mean, but I can't quite.
It's the refrain that went like, "You don't really care for technology, do you?" This one. This is a kind of like campfire kind of song that they released.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was promotional or accidental or how it even got out, but that's about 80% of my knowledge comes from the text from that.
Sure. I mean, I guess one of these 18-year-olds, when they came out, maybe they sang it along, like you're saying, around a campfire with some of their friends, but because they weren't in the Disconnected, then someone else had a recording device.
Or maybe, to be honest, maybe it wasn't them officially releasing it. You know, maybe it's a song that is sang there that just basically made its way here and somebody released it.
Sure.
Although, okay. But, I think maybe for our listeners, it's maybe you explain how awful their life really is without technology.
Sure, because it seems like it would be horrible, no food congos, no teleporters, no lenses, no audio.
Nothing, basically.
Nothing. But apparently it's not awful.
So?
So from the people who've lived there, who've then decided not to continue living there. They're really the main source of information. And you might expect, okay, if they're the people who chose not to live there, it's because it was awful, that's why they left. But no, for the most part, they're like, there were so many good aspects to it. It's not like they hated it or anything like that. It was just that, okay, there were some aspects of modern technology that they did want. Like they liked watching TV shows, for example. Or they liked having whatever food they wanted whenever they wanted from the Congo, So, okay, they couldn't stay living there.
Yeah.
But they didn't hate it. It wasn't an awful life, apparently.
So not awful.
Not awful.
So then how do they get around?
So they walk.
They walk.
Sometimes they jog or run.
I do like walking, actually.
Yeah, likewise.
Huh.
And of course that does reduce the range. They cannot get to the other side. Well, it's not impossible to walk to the other side of the world, but it will take you a while, So,
I was going to say, because I do walk sometimes, but that's just for walking. So, but how do they get to the other side of the world or to the moon or?
So the moon especially, they don't at all. And as far as I know, no one even has done it would be a really long walk to get to the other side of the world. They don't. They basically stay where they are, like walk around in that area, but don't then make long trips.
So just because it's not possible, they don't do it.
Seems that way.
Okay, interesting. But so I'm still trying to. I'm just imagining my life.
Sure.
Right.
Right.
And how I use technology for stuff. So for food, for example, how do they get food?
So they don't have food congos, but they do. I think at one point when we used a teleport a long time ago. We went somewhere where you had to pick the food.
Yeah, the down to earth camps.
That was it. Down to earth camps.
I did that. They do that permanently
all the time. It's not like just a funny thing to do or not an interesting thing to do for a week. That's how they live all the time. Because they
I couldn't handle a couple of hours.
Right. Because they do that all the time, I think they're better at it,
Yeah.
They know what kind of foods to grow and to pick and how to cook them and things like that,
Okay.
And also they have restaurants, so it's not like they necessarily have to do it themselves or each person all the time. They can go to a restaurant where someone else has prepared a bunch of food.
One person cooks and the other person eats it, kind
something
of thing.
Like that. And actually, just coming back to the walking thing for a sec, I remembered something else that I noticed or that I learned, which is that, for example, you and I, we live pretty far apart, So usually you teleport here when we want to record. And the way they do it is they live close by to the people, so to the places they need to be. They actually live really close by, 5, 10 minute, 15 minute walk that they don't need to teleport.
That also kind of explains the restaurant thingy where they just walk to the restaurant and eat there.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay, I could.
I mean, I see the upside.
Get into that. Yeah.
Exactly. So with teleporters, you don't need to worry about it. But I can imagine, okay, no teleporters. If I had to really walk to your place, like how many hours away? It's a long way away. Yeah? Living close by would definitely make that better.
But then, if they live on one place, what do they do when it rains? How they can't teleport to somewhere where it's dry?
They go inside, or use an umbrella. You mean if they're outside? Yeah. So
they go inside.
Or use an umbrella.
Fair enough. Yeah. Okay. Good. Like sometimes the answer is so simple I didn't even think of it. Huh. Okay. So now I have one. So I know one thing they can't do.
Right.
They can't speak to people who speak another language. Without Or Jones, how can you understand what they're saying?
I see what you mean, yeah. So you're right, if they don't know the language, they can't. So what they do is they learn the language. Like if it's, if there's someone they need to speak to or want to speak to.
They learn the language.
They learn the language.
That's pretty impressive, actually.
It is.
Besides the food producing, they can also learn languages.
And it's a bit more time consuming, like with an Or Jones, you just can instantly understand other people. And okay, you want to speak with someone in a language you don't know, it takes... So apparently some months, some years even, if you want to get fluent. But that's how they do it.
Okay, so they... okay, I know. How do they communicate with their PA? Because the PA speaks your language.
Personal assistant, yeah.
But you need technology to be able to speak to you.
They don't even have personal assistants. That's the way around that, yeah. Like exactly how would you communicate with your PA without an Or Jones? Yeah, okay, but they don't have personal assistants because those themselves are a technological device.
Huh. And they get around... without using a PA?
I mean, right, because that's a larger question. Yeah, okay, so you don't have a personal assistant to organize things for your life. How do you live? Yeah,
I guess fair enough. On the other hand, a personal assistant, that's completely virtual, right? So if you don't actually use technology, how's the PA going to be able to do anything?
Right.
Okay. Okay, fair enough.
Were there any other things you were wondering about? I did a whole bunch of research here.
Yeah, yes, I was just thinking about my daily life. So, so thinking back this morning, I spent an hour in my pod to relax. So they don't have pods, I guess. That counts as technology.
Right, not the type of pods we have.
So how do they relax?
They have quiet rooms. So a room in the house, which is, you go in there. There's no windows to the outside. Well, there's no windows. You go inside, you close the door behind you. It's pure white, no visible things, and soundproofed. So while you're in there, you don't hear anything from outside, and you don't really see anything because everything's just pure white. You can adjust the brightness.
Okay.
And that's it.
To be honest, their life sounds in a way quite relaxing as it is. Maybe they don't need relaxing so much because...
Possibly they don't need them so often, yeah.
Huh.
Like there's less distractions.
Okay, so but how do they get cured when they're sick? Because you need your cyborg chips, right?
Right, and they apparently don't have those.
Exactly.
But also apparently they don't get sick. I mean, it's pretty strange, yeah?
They don't get sick.
Don't get sick. I mean, that's a way to solve it, But that is actually one of the more mysterious things. I tried to find out how do they not get sick? Because, some kinds of sickness may be through diet or through exercise you can avoid. But, how do they avoid, certain things of getting old or also accidents, it's not a matter of getting sick if you trip and break your leg or something. Apparently they just don't.
Okay, so they walk outside, they produce their own food, they don't get sick. Huh. This really sounds like that's...
an interesting way of living.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, I like that sound.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, what time is it? Okay.
Ice cream o'clock.
Ice cream o'clock. You think this comes over in the recording?
I think so, yeah.
So there's a floating ice cream ship
just coming up there to the window.
Do you want some?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Salty caramel.
Salty caramel. Okay. I'm gonna. This is a bit spontaneous.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if I can wave to them from the balcony. Yeah.
Yeah. Please do.
Yo, right here. Yeah. Oh, cool. They have cucumber marmalade curry.
Oh, wow. I'll have that instead, actually.
Ice cream, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Two of the special. Cool. Thanks. Bye. I put it on your account.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
Very nice.
There you go.
Thank you. Very nice indeed.
Okay.
And actually, when I have ice cream, I like to have coffee with it. You too?
Sure.
Yep. Get my Congo here.
See, I can't see the disconnected doing this.
No, right.
So
flying ice cream truck comes to your window, pay for it wirelessly, get the coffee instantly.
Exactly. They'd have to plant the ice cream trees first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ha. Yep, we found something that the disconnected can't do.
Right. And breed some kind of cow that produces milk. That's coffee. I don't know. How coffee works.
Yeah. I don't know either. Mm-hmm. But now my ice cream is melting. I'm holding it in my hand right here.
Mm-hmm. Shall we? I mean, I'm actually eating a little bit as we go, but shall we wrap up the episode and enjoy this properly?
If you have any more questions about the disconnected, send them to us, and then...
Right. And so to send it to us, email michaellasagna5@gmail.com. Ask us all your disconnected questions there in the email and put the number 131 in the subject.
Ooh, curry. I can taste the curry.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay. Really thanks for listening, and see you in 200 years.
Bye-bye.